So, over the past couple of nights, I have been subjected to 3.5 hours of torture and rape. This is what you get for watching I Spit on Your Grave 1 and 2. Over 2 nights. Let's talk about these films. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to a new review. And I'm giving you 2 in 1 in this review. Yes, I'm going to review both I Spit on Your Grave 1 and 2. And I'm talking about the remake ones, not the originals. Now, how did it come about that I watched these films? Well, we were sat there, me and the wife, had nothing to watch. She said, do you want to watch a film? And I was in one of them moods where I just couldn't decide on anything to watch whatsoever. I wasn't really in the mood to watch anything. She said, oh, should we watch this? Should we watch that? I'm like, no. She said, should we watch I Spit on Your Grave? I was like, oh, no. But I know she's wanted to watch it for a while. I said, go on then, put it on. Let's just get it over and done with. So, I've never seen the original I Spit on Your Grave. It comes from the 1970s, the latter part of the 1970s. It's one of those films that here in the UK was originally banned for some considerable time, but you could pick it up as a video nasty behind the counter at the old VHS rental stores. Not that I ever done that. The concept and premise of the film never had an intrigue to me or anything like this. So thusly, we sat down and watched these films. Now, I have seen the first one before, this remake one, back in 2010 when it came out. So I knew what I was in for watching it again. So anyway, so like I said, this film came out in 2010. It had an 18 rating, a 1 hour 48 minute runtime, a $2 million budget, and is based upon the film by Miyazaki, the original film from the late 1970s, which was an era for movies of revenge. So this was just a next step in that kind of era of movie. This film here comes from a screenplay by Adam Rockoff and is directed by Stephen R. Monroe, who would return for the sequel, which we'll come on to after this first talk. And this film stars Sarah Butler as a character called Jennifer, who actually returns to the role of this character in I Spit on Your Grave 3, which inevitably I'm going to end up watching as well. Andrew Howard as Sheriff Starch, and Chad Lindbergh as a character called Matthew, as well as some other actors in there. One guy, the main bad guy, I really recognise him, or he looks like someone very familiar. I don't know which it is. But anyway, so this story follows this young woman, Jennifer. She's a writer. She's got out of the city. She's gone and rented a cabin in the woods. You know, that's not a great thing, is it? By the edge of this lake. Now, as soon as you get out of American cities and into the countryside, it's always full of backward people in these films, like this film is. You know, if it's not inbred, it's backwards. But there we go. So it keeps to that at least. At least it's consistent out there. So never go to the countryside in America, and never go to European countries is the other thing. Let's get to the second one. So anyway, Eastern European, I should say. So she rents this cabin. On the way, she stops at this gas stop. There's these few guys there. She has a little back and forth with them. One of them gets embarrassed, this sort of a thing. Then she's at her cabin. There's a problem with her waterworks. That's not a euphemism. And she calls in this young guy, and he's for want of a better term, he's special. I don't know the proper word to refer to these people as now. But he didn't take Robert Downey Jr.'s advice, that's for sure.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Anyway, so he knows these other guys, and basically they raid the house. They come in. They put her through this ordeal. They end up raping her, each one of them in a different way. They've got their own little kink, so to speak. The sheriff, she gets away. She runs into the sheriff just by chance. Sheriff takes her back to the cabin. Oh no, he's in on it, or he knows these lads. He gets in on it. He enjoys he enjoys giving it up to Gary, and all this sort of a thing. And she goes through this rape ordeal for a huge amount of time in the film. Then she disappears. They're going to kill her, but she jumps off this bridge into the water. They're trying to search for her body, never find it. She comes back. She's been laying low in this little derelict house in the woods. She's got better. She's healed. And she goes on a sort of vengeance killing spree, and she kills each one in gruesome, fashionable manner till she's got her revenge, and that's pretty much the film. Did I like it? I can't understand how anyone gets a worth from this sort of a movie. I seriously don't. I said to my missus, I said to her, why did you enjoy that? She goes, yeah, I loved it. Now, psychologically speaking, it's probably a fairy tale story for a woman, and that's probably a nasty thing to say. And by that, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying men don't get raped. There are instances of it happening, men being raped by other men and this sort of a thing. But this is men on woman. So in that context, I'm sure that women, who might have an appeal or women who ain't happened to and think that it might happen to them, it's sort of, I don't know, do they have a mentality where they think, I go out and get revenge, and this film sort of fulfills that what they wish they could do, that sort of wish fulfillment? I don't know. I'm just running thoughts in my head here on why this would appeal to anyone. Although saying that, this film, it felt like it had a point. It felt like it had a reason for being. But it's just nasty for the sake of nastiness. It's just, when I say it's got a point of being, that's in mirroring it to the second one, which I'll get onto. But again, it's just violence for the sake of violence to make a film. I didn't mind the Jennifer character's story arc. I didn't mind her turn from being victim to being essentially the hunter, and the revenge that she got. That was all fantastic. It was fantastically filmed. It was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was well thought out. It was interesting. It was, do you know what I mean? But is it entertainment? Is this entertainment? Does this sort of film class as entertainment for you? Not for me. It's just a film about a woman who gets raped. I'm not really interested in that per se. The revenge side of it, I quite like revenge flicks. So the revenge side of it, I'm leaning more into than here's a woman, I'm seeing her get raped by 5 different men, or however it is in despicably nasty fashion. Different ways, different people who like their different things. So there we go. What can I say? It's not a film I'd ever consider revisiting. Probably not a film that I ever thought that I would have revisited ever again. And then that brings me to I Spit on Your Grave Part 2. Again directed by Stephen R. Monroe, but this time written by Neil Elmas and Thomas Fenton. This film here, like I said, came out in 2013. It was rated 18. Runtime is about the same as the first one. But this film's different. This film's more city-based. This film starts off in New York City. You've got this young woman called Katie Carter, played by Gemma Dalenda. Sorry, I struggled with that one, didn't I? Yes, I won't bother telling you who else is in the film. It's kind of irrelevant, really. I'll be honest with you. Anyway, so this is a young woman in New York. She's trying to make it as a model, and she's advised to get some more photos taken, and she gets given the number of someone that she rings up. And to be honest, they're a bit despicable on the phone, pretty damn rude as well. But but she goes through with it. She goes to this place and she finds these guys. They're Eastern European, hostel style kind of sort of thing, and she dresses up for them. Not in underwear or anything like that. She's just wearing this dress, like a tight, figure-hugging black dress, no bra underneath, that sort of a thing. But they're advising her to take it down, show a bit of skin, so to speak. She refuses. She legs it out of there. Now they know where she lives because she's filled out a form to give them use of the photos. And when back home, one of them comes, the one who seemed nicer. He knocks at the door. He says, "I'm returning your pictures. Here's the pictures that were taken. You can have them. I've deleted them," which he hadn't. Then he makes his way in, and an ordeal begins where he ties her up. Neighbour comes in. Neighbour gets stabbed, killed. He calls on his brothers. They come. They then transport her to Bulgaria in a box. I don't know how they managed that, but we're going into trafficking now, human trafficking, not just rape, but human trafficking. So that she gets to Bulgaria in this box. She's drugged up. They give her drugs to, I don't know. God knows what the state of that box was, mess-wise inside. Anyway, so she's in Bulgaria, bottom of this house, basement, naked, mattress, chained up. They coming in, they're raping her again in horribly gruesome fashion. Each one's got their own little thing. She manages to escape. She goes to the police. This blonde woman comes in who claims to be, I don't know if she's meant to be a solicitor or what, but she says that she'll take her to the American Embassy. En route to the American Embassy, should we go to my house because I've got clothes there, I've got some money you can have, before we go to the embassy? Girl says yes. Lo and behold, the house is the house that she escaped from, and this is the mother of the boys. So she gets tied up again, and she gets beat some more, and she gets raped, and some big fat geezer comes in and pays money to rape her, and all this sort of stuff. She gets buried in the box, but conveniently the box falls through the ground into catacombs, these old tunnels underneath Bulgaria that lead her to this church where she meets a priest, and the priest is nice. He gives her food and some clothes. She gets better. She goes on a vengeance killing spree. Some of this is set up at the beginning of the film. There's a little bit where she sets up a trap to catch a rat, and it's kind of like a Chekhov's gun moment, saying, "Oh, let's say she'll catch one of the guys." So she kills these people in horrible fashion, and it follows much the same path as the first film. However, where I said the first film felt like it had a reason or a point, not much of a reason or a point, this film like it has no reason of existence other than the factor of shocking you with an extended rape scene that goes on and on and on. Seriously, I had to turn the volume down on the TV because it was like, God knows what neighbours would think or anyone outside if they heard it. It was that bad. And again, it just seemed like violence for the sake of violence. Not a good film. Not again. Why would anyone get any entertainment value from this sort of a movie? I don't get it. I don't understand. Again, for me, the revenge stuff. I enjoy the revenge stuff. I enjoy the different killings in the sense, not that I enjoy them, but they're quite elaborate. They're well thought out. But the whole rape stuff. So you got two elements of a film that I'm opposed against. I love revenge stories. I do. Because again, like I said about that wish fulfillment, there's a certain element of that to it that anyone who's been wronged by someone wishes they could go out and get the sort of vengeance that you see people go and get in these films. And that's what I was saying about women and whether they enjoy this sort of film like my wife did because of that element to it. I don't know. Again, just thinking. But there's that element to the revenge side of it that it's the kind of things that you wish you could do. You wish you had the power to go and do this without any, outcome that's bad to you. But then the rape side of it is like, what enjoyment do I get from seeing a woman who's naked on the floor, who's in pain, who's suffering, who's getting slapped about, who's getting drugged, who's getting electrocuted, who's getting raped constantly. There's no enjoyment in that. There's no sort of titillation factor in these films. It ain't like watching something like Basic Instinct when you were young and that sort of a thing. I don't see anyone who if that element comes into play here for anyone, if it does for you, then I think you've got a problem and you need to go and get that sorted out, because you're either a psychopath or a sociopath. One or the other. I take your pick. I just don't get these films. I don't get them. I don't understand them. I don't get them. I'm puzzled to the existence of films like this and films like The Human Centipede and things like this that even a studio or filmmakers think, do you know what, that's a fantastic idea for a movie. I like that idea. The idea of putting a female through letting people watch her get raped for nigh on 30 minutes of the film. That's what it felt like. It is just shocking that this classes as entertainment to people. I'm puzzled. Anyway, I'm done. That's my sort of talks about these films. Inevitably, I'll end up watching the third one. Ain't gonna be tonight though, I can tell you that much. No, there's only so much that I can take before I say no more. And tonight is no more. Anyway, this is AJ. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care all and goodbye.